How many of you like to paint or draw? Good. I'd like to, but I'm terrible. I'm not even really good at stories, except when I'm playing them on the piano. If I wanted to paint a picture of, let's say, a river, I'd be terrible at doing it with a paintbrush. But I may come to the piano and do this. Does this sound, maybe this sounds like a river. Can you hear water running like that? But it's just a little bit of water, right? It's just a little bit. Maybe if I wanted a lot of water, I might do... That's a little more, right? So you can hear more water that way. Maybe if I wanted to paint a picture of a bird flying through the air, that's okay. Maybe if I wanted to paint a picture of a bird flying through the air, I may do something like this, if you can imagine a bird or a butterfly. Can you imagine kind of... Now, what kind of bird was that? Was that a really big bird or a little bird? That's up to you, right? Because you're the one imagining it in your head. That's one reason music is such a great way to be able to express feelings, whether it's happy or sad, or a great way to tell a story, or a great way to paint a picture. Now, one of my favorite musicians of all time was a man named Beethoven. Have you ever heard of Beethoven? Now, not the dog on the movie, but the composer, Beethoven. Beethoven wrote a lot of music. And I really love to listen to Beethoven. We're going to play a little bit of a piece by Beethoven right now, and it's called the Egmont Overture. Now, Egmont was the name of a play by another very famous guy named Goethe. Goethe wrote a play named Egmont, and it's about a man named Egmont who is a kind of a revolutionary hero. He's kind of like George Washington, but for somebody else, okay? He was fighting for independence for his country, who had been invaded by Spain. Now, in the course of the fighting, Egmont's wife had gotten killed, and Egmont got arrested. And Egmont was in jail, and they came and said, tomorrow, off with your head. So, if you got that news that tomorrow, well, he had a hard time sleeping that night, wouldn't you? Yeah, so he's like sitting in his jail cell all by himself, thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, we're going to play just a little bit of this piece, and then I'm going to tell you the next part of the story. And then I'm going to play a little bit more and kind of talk you through this piece by Beethoven. Now, here's the first part. Egmont, the hero, has been captured. His wife was killed. And now he's thinking about, well, tomorrow morning. Okay? So let's think about that. Would it be happy or sad? Sad. Would it be major or minor? Would it be like really fast or... It would be kind of slow, wouldn't it? Not a whole lot of moving around. Well, listen to us play the very first part of the Egmont Overture by Beethoven. Very beginning. Pretty heavy, right? He's really down in the dumps. Then a strange thing happens to Egmont in the middle of the night. Remember how I told you that his wife had been killed in the fighting? He's sitting in his jail cell, and the ghost of his wife appears. And she says to Egmont, "Don't worry, Egmont. It's all going to be okay, because after they kill you tomorrow, our people are going to become so inspired by what has happened to you that they're going to fight and win their independence." And he at first doesn't believe her. And Beethoven actually plays the music 2 times, I think, to kind of show that, well, he didn't believe her and she had to tell him again. But anyway, the ghost of Egmont's wife comes and says, "Don't worry." She tries to make him feel better. Now, Beethoven liked to use a particular little musical idea when he wanted to say that what's going to happen to you is really important. Have you ever heard his 5th symphony that goes like this? Right, you've heard that, right? Bop, 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 bum. Short, 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 long. Can you take your hand and do this? Short, 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 long. Ready, go. Short, 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 long. One more time, go. Short, 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 long. We call that the fate motive. And Beethoven uses that in lots of different pieces of music to say what is going to happen to you has to happen. It's very important that it happens. So we're going to play this part where Egmont's wife is telling Egmont not to worry, that the people are going to be inspired. And when we get to that spot, see if you can hear the ba-ba-ba-bum. It's going to be different notes, but the same short, 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 long. Okay? See if you can hear that. Short, 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 long. Do you hear that? And that's the section where Egmont's wife appears and inspires him and tries to make him feel better. Well, Egmont believes her, and he says, "Well, that's a pretty good deal." So he stands up, and he puts his tie and his coat on, and he says, "When they come to get me, I'll be ready."